everyone. I'm just pinning a comment. Where's everyone from? You guys can ask questions. I'm just pinning a comment, so it always takes me a second. All right, that's all we'll do for now. Okay, let me see here. Pin comment. Okay. All right. Everyone's on here on Sunday night. Houston, New York, Missouri. Where else are we from? Sydney, Australia, Dominican Republic. We have everywhere all over the whole world. Yeah, so I just got on here to take some questions. Texas, what's your motivation for this page? You guys can ask questions, and then I'm going to talk about like a couple things. Tomorrow's Monday, so I'll probably like record this in parts and call it something like Manifestation Monday or Meditation Monday, even though we're recording this live Sunday. But I'll probably upload this tomorrow on my lives. If you're not following my spiritual news channel, I think I'm going to record solo over there and upload things you guys ask me. And then if you guys want to stay tuned for the lives, I'll keep doing the lives over here for now because it's the bigger channel. And then, okay, so let me scroll up here. I think the question was, yeah, ask anything you want. Oh, Texas, there's Amy's here. Amy, I wanted Amy to get on with me. I'm like, no, I'm not going to go live like an hour ago. Then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go live actually. So I've been feeling really like high vibe all day. So I actually sent myself a text message of what I wanted to talk about earlier. Hold on, let me see what it is here. Hold on my other phone. What did it say? The text message. Oh, the illusion of separation, why we are all one. So that was a thought that was going on earlier. A projected universe. That's what I was going to talk about, but then it like changed. So let me see here. Just wondering if you can help me with my 11-year-old son. He's going through something. So, and you guys keep asking questions. I'm just going to start scrolling and answering. And the one, why did I start this page? Basically, my intuition a few years ago, this told me to start it. And then it turned into like this whole social network of like 800,000 people everywhere. So it's like crazy. So if you have intuition, do something. And like always follow your gut. Like always follow your intuition. Meditation is so important for you to like tune into that, and then you'll be guided to do things. Like I was guided to start acupuncture school. I only got a year at that left. Was guided to start all these pages. They're all blown up. So whatever you have intuition, God put something in your heart for you. Separate from everyone else. Don't look at anyone else's lane. Everyone has their own lanes. And I always use the analogy of, if you look at someone else's lane, you're going to crash. So never look at what anyone else is doing. You focus on your own lane. That's it. And that's all you got to do. Because when you're looking over here, guess what happens? You crash. So don't look at them. Don't look at her, him, whoever. Just do your own thing. You're wonderful. God loves you. Put the dream in your heart, and you'll do it. But you got to follow the intuition. Okay, so just wondering if you can help me with my 11-year-old son. He's going through something. So there's something called, neurofeedback therapy that I've been doing it a couple weeks. I really like it. I would recommend Googling that. So we have California, Nevada, psychedelics. I've done them in the past in high school. I'm not going to lie, but now, no, I would not do them. I'm way too scared. I would never do them now. So I don't know if I should say that on a live or anything, but I don't mess with that like world anymore of psychedelics. Too scared. I don't want to see anything weird. Manic Monday, that's a good one. We don't want to call it manic because then you're like, up and down, up and down, up and down. Hello. All right. Namaste. Hi. I'm spiritual by the way of psychedelics. How do you get yours? Oh, so how do I get my joy, my happiness? It's actually a frequency that you can tune into. So ever since I've been doing this neurofeedback, if you want the joy and the happiness, it's a frequency you have to tune into. And you can tune in through meditation. So that is how you tune in. You basically sit and you meditate, and that's like the way you could do it sober. You don't need any psychedelics, you don't need drugs, you don't need alcohol, you don't need anything besides meditation and hitting a certain frequency in your brain, you know, God frequency, whatever it is, that resonates with the earth. I think it's like 7.82 hertz, something like that. I don't know. You know, the frequency of Om or Amen or whatever in the universal language. And that is how you can become spiritual without drugs. Okay, I know later this week. Yeah, me and Amy, go follow Raise the Vibe Tribe if you're not already following her. We'll be doing a live like later this week, maybe on Friday. Hi, Amy, you beautiful soul, you. How old are you? I'm 31. Hi, no issues. How do you start meditation? So, you can start meditation just simply with your breath. And you can even research. So when I first started, I did like a lot of Kelly Howell meditations and theta state healing meditations where I listened to recordings, because it can be hard to do it silently, but to really reach that frequency, you can go to a place of meditation. So look in your area. It's much easier to go and do it around other people versus at your home. And then once you get accustomed to how to learn to meditate, then you can do it at your home or anywhere. Oh my gosh, you go girl. Love the analogy. Why do I have a roller coaster ride with my boyfriend? Is he the one, or is it just dysfunction and I should break up? That's from God's divine purpose. You know, we have all the answers. You just have to tune into your intuition. I don't ever do readings or anything like that on here. So, just meditate on it, and you know, you already have the answer if you know if he's right or wrong for you. You will know in your gut. So if your gut's saying he's not right, then he's probably not. But if your gut's saying like stick it out, this is the one, then maybe he's the one. Love, peace, light. That's like our friend Lindsay. Peace, love, light. Projected universe is pretty cool. How about antimatter, dark matter is what makes up most of the universe, even though it's mostly empty. Oh yeah. So all the physicists know about that. Hello, psychedelics connect with source, all that is illusion, bar, love, lamo. Sorry, I'm just reading through the comments out loud, so I'm like way up here. Do you know Sri Narayana Guru? I think I've heard of them. I am so unhappy. So if you're really unhappy, I talk about unhappiness and depression and anxiety a lot in here, because there are so many different frequencies, and you can just have a chemical imbalance in your brain, and there's ways to readjust it. So, you know, the point of having this life and being given a human body is so you can adjust that frequency and become happy. That's the point of your life. Try the neurofeedback, try acupuncture, try meditation, try running. Eating good foods that will increase your serotonin and dopamine. And sometimes you need someone else to you can alter your own vibration, like once you have it, once you start meditating, but sometimes you need someone else to tweak your vibration a little bit, like an acupuncturist, something like that. So whenever I was first really unhappy, and just kind of stuck in one spot, I started going to acupuncture twice a week. And then that all of a sudden, another good analogy was I felt like this cloud lifted off of me, and like a rainbow came out, and like the sunshine, and like all the little birds, and like, so when you're at the frequency of the universe and of earth, then you're gonna be, and that was the topic that I text myself in the phone, you're gonna be feeling more like you're one with everything. So when you feel like you're one with everything and we're all love, there is no illusion of the separation of fear. And so what usually happens when we have anxiety or fear is we have the, imbalanced chemicals in our brain of serotonin and dopamine from drugs or trauma or abuse or whatever it was. And then so you can tweak those, and everyone can have the chance to be happy. It is your birthright to be happy. So you could try acupuncture, neurofeedback, running, proven to release, and then the meditation. Those are like things that don't cost money, is the meditation and running if you don't have any, funds. But if you want someone to alter it, then that could be easier for you if you go to acupuncture or neurofeedback. What are the videos about? Everyone is different. What is the best frequency? I don't think there's a best frequency. I think they're all learning, because without the feeling of suffering or pain, you can't go to the other frequency. Like without my feelings of suffering or your feelings of suffering, you can't go to this other place of happiness. And so I don't think there's a best frequency, but there is a frequency where you feel more tuned in with God and with love and with source, and basically one with the whole universe. Like it's a vibrating universe, and we're all energy and we're all connected. And so if you can get in sync with that and your intuition, that's the best frequency. Yes, meditation, safest way. Hello, 432 Hertz. Yes, fellow Amy and Nicole, these three are great. Tinnitus, loud. How about numerology? I don't know enough to talk about it. I know that I think I'm like a life path number 1. That's all I really know. I'd have to like Google it again, but sometimes I put in my numbers, but you guys don't care. Just type in free numerology and like all these free things will come up. They are either a lesson or a blessing. Lessons help manifest true ones. So if we're going to do manifestation Monday or meditation Monday, then I guess I should talk about that too, right? So we covered meditation, then we could cover manifestation, because you need both, I think. Do you find synchronicities all the time? Do you find meaning in these? When I was first awakening, when I was in, say, not the best of places, I would look for synchronicities and be like, oh my gosh, and like they would like light up my day. Like I would see like numbers or the synchronicities in general, something I spoke, and then the TV would speak the same thing right after, or just things you're like, oh, like we're all, it's like a matrix, like you're all connected. But now recently, I don't feel like I see any synchronicities too much anymore. Like sometimes when I'm in Las Vegas with my dad, like when I'm around him for some reason, all these synchronicities start happening again, but not too much. But I definitely can relate to synchronicities. And if you're in like a really like not great place, then sometimes like synchronicities can really help you, like when you're looking for messages and looking. But I feel like once you're already in tune with everything, it's like everything is a synchronicity. Like my whole life or your whole life, it could be a synchronicity. Like it's all dharma, it's all purpose. And so everything, it'd be like noticing everything in every moment. You know what I mean? And every day. Hi, conscious goddess. Acupuncture does wonders. I know because I am a DOM. Yes, it really does. Acupuncture. We have all these meridians in our body, and if something's imbalanced, it's way more in depth. It's way more in depth, 5,000 years in depth. But just if you feel off, definitely go get yourself an acupuncture treatment. It can help so much. Yes, acupuncture for sure. Energy therapy and meditation help me too. Is acupuncture safe for kids? Yes, it is. Recommend all to walk with bareback feet along the beach. Thank you for info. Type 1 diabetes. Type 1. So my dog has diabetes. I actually found a way to really help her, which is just feeding her like low fat and low carb. So she eats like brown rice. And then like home cooked meals basically. So that can help if you have diabetes. Thank you for answering my question. Mantra yesterday, noticed stains on my clothes. Is there any spiritual indication? Maybe you spilled something? I don't know. I'm just kidding. I don't know if there's a spiritual indication. You would have to, I don't realize that. You can experience light if you don't experience dark. I think they meant you can't experience light if you don't experience dark. So that's true. Do children get pulled through an awakening? I don't know. I feel like some kids are born awakened and, or they could go through it. You know, I think a lot of kids are born knowing, and then as a society, we brainwash them kind of to like unknow everything, to lose all of their special senses. So you'll notice like a lot of kids being extra sensitive, and then it kind of goes away. Let's see here. Mine are mad. Check my page. My synchronicities on my page. I see hearts everywhere. All right, I'm at the bottom. Yeah, so manifestation Mondays, or how do you create your reality, or meditation. Which one do you guys want to talk about? You guys pick. Manifestation Monday or meditation Monday? But you should always do meditation anyways. It shouldn't be just on Monday. It should be every day. But manifestation is kind of like you feel in a place where you want to be until that reality actually pulls in around you. And so you're not focused on anyone else's lanes or what anyone else is kind of doing. You're just really focused on tuning your own life. Manifestation. What questions do you guys have about it? So say, give me like an example of something that everyone's picking manifestations. Of course. Well, and also to manifest, you have to, meditation, then you can also do manifesting meditations. To manifest, you also, it really helps being tuned in through meditation. So first you want to tune in and feel that frequency of where you are one with everything, and that you aren't separate from anything. And once you start seeing yourself and all souls and all people, and we're all like actors in a play, so you're playing one part, I'm playing another part, and you start seeing this universe the way it is, kind of like a holographic universe, and projecting on a screen. And so when you start thinking about, we're the creators of our own movies, painting our paintings, or projecting on a screen, then you can start creating your own reality. And if you're attuned through the meditation, then that's going to be more accurate with your dharma, because like we can want one thing, say like, and then your dharma, which could be like bigger than you could ever imagine, could be a complete other thing. And so that's where you would attune to the meditation and say like I always, oh, bye Amy, I'll see you. I wish Amy would come on still, but we'll be on later this week. Yeah, so say you're, I forgot where I was at now. Painting is my meditation, but during those days I feel people sick, releasing all the energy, cutting cords. Okay, I'll go back to that question. So we're talking about manifestation, and so everything is like a play on a screen, and we're all actors playing parts, right? And so when you start seeing everything as a projection, and if you really look at matter inside of our bodies, inside of the wall, and all like the dark matter that they mentioned earlier, there's all this empty space. And so we're like so much percentage empty space. It's like crazy. And if you really look with a microscope, the walls, everything is this empty space. And so that means that it's constantly changing. And so we can actually create and change the reality around us. And once you know that, and you're in tune with the meditation in that frequency, then you're creating with God's will, or your dharma, or your purpose, which is something that we all have imprinted in our hearts. So say you have a feeling like, I'm meant to help people, but you're not really sure how. And then I have an intuition, okay, I'm going to create this Instagram, and then I'm going to go to, acupuncture school or whatever it may be. Then later on, you can see all the matter changing around me. So all of a sudden, like something that took years to build, it could take years. So if you have a really, really big dream, that could take years to build. It's not like overnight, I wish that I had this and it disappears. But before you ever have it, 5 years, 10 years before you have it, you have to get in tune with that, with the energy. And so that's where the feeling comes in of acting like you already have it. So we're all given like stressors of daily life, right? Like the dog has diabetes, dad gets sick, whatever it is, and you guys are all going through something different. And so you can't fall into those realities of daily life and fall into like the emotions that you could get every day. You have to feel, still express those emotions, especially like if it's needed, like if someone passes away or something. But when you're trying to create something, you're tuning into God's frequency more, and then you're creating outwardly alongside of him. And so you're getting intuitions to, maybe you're getting an intuition to move somewhere, to, get a house somewhere, or to start a new job in a certain area. Or maybe you have an intuition. It can even be with like animals. Like I had an intuition when I was at Walmart, and there was this like cat like outside, like this lady giving away all these kittens. I had an intuition this to like, when I started walking through the store, I just got the worst feeling after seeing those kittens. I was like, oh my gosh, like it was like, and I knew I had to go help one of them. And so I took that cat, and I still have the cat, Mimi, now. And so that was just based on intuition. And she's the most wonderful cat and like brings so much joy into the house, along with, my diabetic dog. So it brought all this more joy. And just like, if you say you want to start school, say you're just not in school yet, or you have an intuition to go back and become a nurse or whatever it could be, you want to listen to those subtle things. And if they keep reoccurring, so like when I was walking all through the store, I couldn't stop thinking about it. And so, that if I wouldn't have grabbed her that day, who knows, I could be missing out on like one of my soul animals, or like an animal that was really supposed to be with me. And so that's how you kind of tune in. And yeah. Hey, yeah, so you guys can ask questions. Again, I've just been kind of talking. But once you're tuned into that frequency of meditating, then you can start creating your reality alongside God's will. And it'll be, oh, hey, Dean, how are you? And it'll be, yeah, oh, there's my other friend. It'll be so good. Hey, Annie. I don't know who else is in here. You guys can ask questions again. How to reduce depression in life. So if you want to reduce depression, how old are you and how long has it been going on? If I can ask that. Or do you want to, if you want to just stay general, you can. Because if it depends on like the severity. Oh, you did. You asked Hearts Universe. Can you ask again? I'm down all the way at the bottom, so I don't know what you asked. So how to reduce depression in life. In general, you could, of course, what we talked about earlier, start meditating. But if you're in a place where that even seems pretty hard, definitely go check out an acupuncturist or neurofeedback sessions, which I think can help like 60 to 80% change the frequencies in your brain. And it's pretty, so if you want to work on it yourself, or say you don't have enough money or something, you can always okay, so I'll get back to releasing old energy and cutting cords next. And then 23, my age. So say you have like a big trauma. Sorry, I'm going to adjust here for a second. If you have a bigger trauma, then getting through that depression could take more treatments. It could take, say, instead of 20 acupuncture treatments, it could take, 30, or say instead of 4, it could take 12 or something like that. So, of course, you're going to need more treatments of acupuncture. You can also try, I definitely recommend it though, and the neurofeedback, I wasn't really treated for depression or anything like that, but I've had 2 sessions, and there's been a lot of studies done that on EEGs, both meditation and neurofeedback sessions show that it changes your brainwaves and can get you out of states of depression. So those are some things you could try. Now say you're like, all right, well, I don't have a job, I don't have any money, you're in this situation. So if you don't have that access to those things, go and try running, and then running after I think a certain amount of time, like 15 or 30 minutes, releases serotonin and dopamine. Run every single day. You can even work yourself up to an hour. That's like, people get into something they call theta state whenever they start running. And you can start hypnotizing yourself. And so you could listen to programs. So that's another thing you could do. You can listen to subconscious programs. Kelly Howell on YouTube, Healing Mind Meditation. That's something you can listen to before you go to sleep. And she has all these free meditations on YouTube. So that's another thing you can do. You can listen to subconscious meditations, like during the day, from people like Kelly Howell, or just stuff that's out there. So it's where it's just music, but it's subconscious. And also watch what you're putting into your mind, body, and soul, including TV, radio, the people around you. If they're toxic, you got to get them out of there. And so everything is affecting your frequency all the time, including the music you're listening in the car, the TV you're watching. Like, I used to read like a lot of like James Patterson books, like 10 or 12 years ago. And like now, like you won't catch me reading really like that type of book anymore, even though I used to really love it. Now it's just more knowledge type books. And then also, it's not recommended to watch like scary movies, or like movies, they call it in Chinese medicine, like it can disturb your shen, your spirit. When one of my teachers said that to me in class, he said, none of you watch scary movies, right? And we're all like laughing, because we all watch scary movies probably. But since then, I haven't watched, like, I'll watch Ice Age, or like watch like innocent stuff. Like, you want your mind to be pure. When you're meditating, when you're doing all these things, you're purifying yourself. And so like society has like put all this stuff in us, and and then don't compare your lives to others. Just focus on your own lane. Never look at what someone else is doing, because God has his own path for you, particularly you, and you cannot compare your life to others, because your path is perfect for you. You don't ever need to be like Jim or John or Susie or Sally or anyone else. You are perfect the way you are. So that's another thing that can like make people depressed, is when they're constantly comparing themselves to, idols or celebrities or whoever that is. And that's something you also want to avoid. Okay, so I'll move on from that. I hope that helped. Releasing old energy, cutting cords. So Heart's Universe, can you go into more particular? I feel like when you change frequencies, this is what I'll say about it, is that people will just fall out of your life. If you raise your frequency, you'll attract more high frequency. If say your best friend's on a different frequency, but they want to come with you, then there they'll be, 10 years or 20 years later after you change. And even though you might be different or they might be different, you guys stuck together. Some people get stuck in cycles or patterns. So I have seen, because the question is releasing old energy or cutting cords, I have seen people on loops. And so a loop is, if you picture, an 8, like, or a circle or something like that, is a loop. It's a pattern. It's a subconscious pattern that's been going on because you got brainwashed from when you were 1 to 5 years old. And, that you're in theta state during all that time. And so basically everything your parents are telling you, anything that's around you, is getting put into your mental state. Mm-hmm. And so, hold on, I gotta move this. Yeah, and so your mind is already pre-programmed. And so the question again was releasing old energy, cutting cords. If you find yourself in a loop, like say you're 15 and then you're 20 and then you're 30 and then you're 50, and you keep meeting the same guy that's doing the same thing or the same patterns, then you're probably in a loop. And so what you have to do is recognize that you're in the loop and say, okay, like this is something that's happened like 27 times before, and I don't feel like dealing with it anymore. And then you actually have to change your frequency. Once you change your frequency, you can get out of the loop. And people have a big problem with leaving things that, are changing that, because it's in their subconscious. And so that's where all of the theta healing, Kelly Howell, subconscious healing, subconscious programming, neurofeedback, acupuncture, that's where like all of these techniques, like you apply them all, and then you can get out of the loop. I was actually in a couple loops, and you have to get out of it and go. But it's hard when you see people in loops that you love too. Like you want them to like get out of the loop. Sorry, this like thing keeps popping up. You want them to get out of the loop, and sometimes it's hard, you know, to watch other people. So you could know someone that's in a loop, you could be in a loop yourself, and a lot of people don't want to recognize that they're in a loop. So you'll oftentimes see people that are chronic drug users or drug addicts that, you know, their parents did drugs, or they started doing drugs when they were young, and then they're doing it again, and then they're doing it again, and because they have triggers. So they can get around something and it can trigger them, then they're back in the loop. And then because they're doing the drug, they're attracting people on the same frequency of that, whatever city they go to, they're back on the drug. Or it can be with love too. So you see people like in abusive type relationships, like where it's like, okay, you're dating one guy and like he beat you up, right? And you finally broke up with him, and then you go back and now you're dating another guy and he's choking you or something. And so you could be in a loop, and you have to recognize that and then change your frequency and want to get better and want to release it. You have to want to, and you use your free will to get out of that loop. Okay, to speed up vibration. Release aligning and cutting cords to speed up vibration. How do you speed up vibration? Hearts Universe, can you elaborate on that question? So you just said to speed up vibration. How are you? Hi. I'm scrolling. Go to an acupuncture school for treatments. It's cheaper if your budget is tight. Yes, that's true. Singing bowl sounds help. Thank you. Request any tips for deeper sonalization. Can you deep derealization? Okay, spam maps. I can't really read that word, so I think you might have mistyped it or something. If you can like retype that question. I feel energy blocks. How do you overcome the fear of intimacy? Fear of intimacy. So maybe like Preston, maybe that's also a loop. So maybe if someone has a fear of intimacy, maybe that like their family or someone really hurt them when they were younger, and then so they don't want to be with anyone, and that could be the fear of intimacy. So it's just recognizing it. It's recognizing that you have that fear, or that you're stuck in that loop, and then going. So it could maybe not be, it could be different from being in a relationship or doing the drugs. So it could actually be something like that, like fear of intimacy. So the loop can take many forms. It doesn't have to just be the things that I mentioned. I used to manifest fast. Now it's a lot slower. Well, if you're manifesting slower, could this be that your dream's bigger? So, how to control the drinking habits. I want to be sober for 6 months. So, if you have like a drinking or a drug or alcohol problem, my dad always told me, because, well, I won't tell his whole story, but my dad always told me that people that are drinking or doing drugs are looking for God. So that's what he always told me. And it's like you're looking for connection. It could be in a relationship. It could be in a drink. It could be in a drug. And you're just looking for that connection. And so you could definitely try AA though, and things that are out there. You could even go to acupuncture for that, to treat a drinking problem. And it's really about your willpower and, you know, wanting to give it up and getting out of the loop, because no one can change you except you. It's any tips for getting rid of derealization, I don't know what that means. Sorry, if maybe you could define the words for me. Derealization, depersonalization. I don't know what that means. They're not typically used words. Oh my gosh, I feel in a loop. Yeah, I started noticing loops around like the people around me. I'm like, they're in a loop again. And like, it's hard, you know, but you really have to recognize it and change your frequency to get out of it. I think you dressed. What can I do to increase my energy after a painful divorce?